Okay, yesterday Ty gave us a great setup for what we're talking about this week, and we're talking about agility-based activities, specifically about how to get into and out of a right foot cut. Now, first things first, we have to be able to achieve positions in a slow and controlled manner. So what I'm going to show you today is a really simple exercise that we'll often use as we transition people from the purple room in rehab out to the performance side of IFAST. I'm going to show you in two different views. I'm going to set you up in the sagittal view here, and then we're going to make a quick change, and we'll show you from behind, because you need to see both views so you can get the setup correct in the first place. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a left hip approximation activity, which is actually going to adduct us on the left side, abduct us on the right side. Typically what we're going to see, because of the normal human asymmetries, is people are going to be very easily shifting into their right hip because they're already adducted on that side. What we want to be able to do is be able to reverse that concept, be able to abduct on the right and then adduct on the left. So here's what it looks like in the sagittal plane. I'm going to use a little bit of a board here, and what that's going to do is going to provide me a little bit of an advantage, because I'm going to sort of bury myself into my right hip with this board, and so I'll be very deeply adducted on the right side. It's going to make it easier for me to feel the change from adduction to abduction. I'm going to use a table here, and what this is going to allow me to do is bring my pelvis underneath me, and now I'm going to be able to engage my abdominals and bring my rib cage down the back. This allows me to breathe into the back of my thorax. When we talk about agility, I have to have a very mobile thorax. If I'm too extended, I steal motion in the frontal and the transverse planes. So I want to make sure that I'm teaching myself to adjust my frontal plane with a great round thorax. So I'm going to bring my pelvis underneath me, my hands are going to be on the table, I'm adducted on this side, and what I'm going to do, imagine that my foot is stuck in the mud, and I want to pull my leg straight up out of the mud. So my pelvis is under, and I'm going to pull my foot straight up. So you can probably see a little bit that my left foot is now higher than my right foot. And all I'm doing is approximating that left hip. So now I'm adducted on the left, abducted on the right, and I'm going to camp out here with my pelvis underneath me, and I'm going to knock out a set of really, really good effective breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. I'm going to get a complete exhale, get all the air out. I'm keeping my left hip approximated. I'm lengthening my right adductor. I'm shortening my left one. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I've got great abs engaged. I got my pelvis underneath me. And again, I'm abducting then on the right, adducting on the left. Very, very simple exercise. But if I can hold that position and achieve the abduction-adduction relationship that's a flip-flop of what I typically see, then I know I've got at least established a position that allows me to get in and out of my right foot cut. Okay, so now I've got a frontal plane view, so you can see me from behind. So I got my setup, I got my pelvis underneath me, hands are going to be on the table. You can see that I'm already kind of buried into this hip, so this hip is now adducted, and this is abducted by position, and I'm just going to reverse that. So my hands are on the table, my pelvis comes under so I can fill up my back with air, and I'm just going to approximate that hip by pulling that foot up out of the mud. I keep my pelvis underneath me, and this is where I breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Focusing on getting all the air out. I'm going to repeat that for about 5 breaths in this position, and I'm going to do 3 to 5 sets of that. Okay, so there we have it. So that's achieving a very simple static position, low load, very simple exercise just to establish the ability to achieve a position. Tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to take these activities into the gym. We're going to start to make things a little bit more dynamic, because we're never getting a complete transfer from an activity like we showed you today. What we need to do is we start to add complexity, speed, and load. So we're going to start to do that tomorrow.